Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and I'm so happy that you're here. So, as you can see by the title of the video, your girl will be closing out her August monthly budget. Y'all, I am so excited for this video. One being, I tried to do this back in July, at the end of July, and I gave up. To be honest and transparent with y'all, I was struggling for days closing out my monthly budget. And for me, I don't believe that budgeting should be that hard. Once budgeting starts to get frustrating to the point where I want to give up, I take a pause and I come back to it later. So now it is later, a month later, and I feel like I got a handle on how to close out my monthly budget. So I'm so excited to show y'all how to do it, and hopefully you can implement my method into your daily budgeting lives. So let's just go ahead and get started. But right before I do, I just want to say, hey.
Hey!
If you're new, please consider subscribing. I love to have you. Join the fam. We're lit over here, and it's free, y'all. So yeah. All right, let's just go ahead and get started. All right, y'all, so I just want to say, back in the intro when I said free, I realized it was a little too aggressive.
No, my bad, I'm sorry.
Shook the camera a little bit, but I am sorry. I just want to say my bad. I guess I'm just really excited to be filming. I haven't filmed in over a week, so it's really nice to be behind the camera again. My hands in the front, me in the back. It just feels really good. So with that being said, let's get into these shout outs. I only have one for this video, and that goes to A Pink Cloth Life. Yes, my girl Tina from A Pink Cloth Life. So why do I love her channel? It's definitely the organization of it all. Y'all, she is so organized when it comes to her budget. She has her own budgeting system. It's very detailed, organized. Organized and detailed are the only two words I can think of right now, but it's just very precise. Yeah, that's another word. But she has her own budgeting sheets. She doesn't follow the budget mom or the percentage method. She does the zero-based budget, but she does it in her own way. And I just really, really love watching her videos. It's just so relaxing and refreshing. And it seems like she really has a handle on her finances. And I really like seeing that as well. And let me tell y'all, this girl with the calculator, I've never seen anyone's hands move so fast with the calculator. She's like 1.2 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus, and plus equals.
Just look at those fingers move.
And she doesn't miss a beat. I'm like, how does she do that? I mean, it's just so cool to watch. But anyway, that's Tina from A Pink Cloth Life. She also has an Etsy shop. So let's just go ahead and hashtag support small businesses. Y'all already know. And she has a beautiful boy named Aiden who comes into the videos every now and then. So it's really cute to see. But other than that, that is Tina from A Pink Cloth Life. She also did a video recently of why you shouldn't feel guilty using your sinking funds. I believe that's what the video was called. And y'all, I love that video because I think all of us need to hear that. You know, we save for our sinking funds and we know that those sinking funds go to something or some event or holiday, but for some reason we don't like to spend it. So for example, we have our medical sinking fund and we're just saving and saving and saving, and then we have to spend it and we're like, ugh, you know, I know that's how I am. I don't like using my sinking funds, but I know that they're meant to be spent. So she's basically talking about that in that video. Don't feel guilty spending your sinking funds because that's what they're for, right? So yeah, I really appreciated that video. Y'all go check out Tina from A Pink Cloth Life. Tell her that your girl Taylorbudgets sent you, And that is it for my shout outs. So again, shout out to you, Tina. So y'all, let's just go ahead and get on into the video. Okay, y'all, so I feel like I need to bring the energy down a little bit. It's after 4 a.m. and I feel like I have so much energy. But like I mentioned, I'm just really excited to film. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But I do want to mention one thing before showing you my monthly closeout. In order to do a monthly closeout, you need to close out your paycheck budgets, right? So here is my budget by paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. This is what I use to budget out my paycheck budgets. So my bi-weekly budgets. How many times am I going to say budget? Anyway, so I want to go ahead and show you how I close out my paycheck budgets. And then we will get into closing out my monthly budget. Okay, let's get started. All right, so here is my August 12th paycheck, which was my first paycheck in August. I'm not going to go through this, but I wanted to show you how it looks when I close out a paycheck. So usually on my videos, I only show you the budgeted column, and then off camera, I fill out the actual column. So this is what it usually looks like. Like I mentioned, as you can see, there is a 0 at the end of the actual, which means that every dollar of my income had a place. So it is always great to get close to 0 when you're closing out your monthly or your paycheck budgets. So let's go ahead and move on into the second paycheck in August. So I filled out the actual columns already just to save time, but this is the paycheck that I am going to thoroughly go through and show you how I got to a 0 balance at the end. So if you're new to my channel, I do use the zero-based budget method, which means that all of my dollars have a job and a place within my paycheck. And at the end of allocating all of my dollars, there is a 0 balance left, which means that there is no money left to allocate. So let's go ahead and start with my income sources. I did not earn anything more than I budgeted for. So for my part-time income, I received $880. I received $300 from Lauren's dad, consulting $85, and then I subtracted $97 from my tithes. So my income was the same as what I budgeted for, $1,088. Let's move on to my bills. Everything was the same. So I put $123 towards my car, $15 towards my Zoom, $36 towards my Elite Dentistry bill, and $100 towards my phone. So to total up the bills, it was $274 with $814 remaining. So let's move on into my cash envelopes. This is where things started to change. So my cash envelopes are my daily expenses, so the envelopes that are in my wallet. So I had $814 remaining. For groceries, I budgeted $100. I only spent $99. So in the actual column, this is where you put what you actually spent, not what you have left over. So just keep that in mind. So like I mentioned, groceries was $100 and I spent $99. Household, I spent all of it. Fast food, all of it. That ain't nothing new. Miscellaneous, I spent all of it. For auto, I budgeted $10 and I did not spend any money on gas, so I put a 0. For Lauren Bear, I only spent $22. For me, I spent $20, and for my locks, $45. For blessings, I spent all of it, $5. Starbeezy, I spent $11 out of the $15. And tips, I spent all of it, $2. So if you total up these amounts, it was $249 that I spent out of the $272 that I budgeted for. So if I subtract the $249 from $814, that gives me $565. So let's move on into my sinking funds. I brought the $565 up here. I did not put anything more in my sinking funds than what I budgeted for. So these numbers are all the same. My sinking funds total is $185. If I subtract the $185 from the $565, I have $380 remaining. Let's move on to extra debt. I only put $30 towards my student loans. So my extra debt total is 30. If I subtract 30 from the 380 I had left over, I have 350 left. So let's go to extra savings. I brought the 350 down from the extra debt. I put 67 towards my 52-week challenge, 20 towards emergency fund, 40 towards 3 to 6 month expenses, 200 towards Lauren Bear's college fund. And then here's where things get a little bit crazy.
Go crazy. Go stupid. Oh, go crazy. Yeah. Go stupid.
Not really. So my $1 and $5 savings, I budgeted 0 because this amount comes from whatever I did not use in my cash envelopes. All of the $1 that I did not spend go into my $1 savings. All of the $5 that I did not spend go into my $5 savings. So of course I budget 0 because I do not know how much I have left over at the beginning of my pay period, right? So that is why that is 0 for budgeted. So I hope that makes sense. I have $8 $1 left over in my wallet and then $3 $5 in my wallet, which is 15, 5, 10, and 15.
Yeah.
So that brings the total extra savings to $350. If I subtract 350 from 350, it gives me a 0 balance for a 0-based budget, which means that every dollar that I budgeted for has a place. So I want to talk about this $1 and $5 savings portion really quick, just so that you can better understand it.
Okay. Whatever you say.
So what I did to get these numbers is I went through my wallet and I looked at all of my cash envelopes. I do not want to show it on this video because I want to save that for my cash stuffing. But what I did was I went through all my envelopes and saw how much money I have left over from all of those categories. But in order to get to that 0 balance, whatever is in this $1 and $5 savings row should match what I did not spend for my cash envelopes. If I budgeted $272 for my cash envelopes, but I only spent $249, let's subtract $249, that means that I did not use or I did not spend $23 of my cash envelope budget. So that remaining that I have left over for my cash envelopes should match my $1 and $5 savings. So what is $8 plus $15? 8 plus 15, 23. And that 23 that I have remaining for my $1 and $5 savings matches the 23 that I did not spend from my cash envelopes. So I hope that makes sense. And that is why I was able to get a 0 at the end, because that 23 for my $1 and $5 savings matches the $23 that I did not spend. So I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you could always leave me a comment down below and I'll answer any questions for you. But that is how I close out my paycheck budgets. So now let's get into my monthly budget. Okay, so here is my notebook where I write all of my monthly budgets down. If you are interested in this notebook, I did purchase it off of Amazon, and I think it was like $6 or $7. I'm not sure, but it was very, very affordable. So let's go into my August 2021 monthly budget. Now I do want to mention that I do get paid bi-weekly, and with my bi-weekly pay schedule, my monthly pay periods are a little wonky. So it's not August 1st to August 31st, I believe, if there's 31 days in August. It's more like August 12th to September 8th. Because when I do my monthly budgets, I include everything that my August income will take care of. So let me show you real quick. So here is my August monthly spread. Remember that I mentioned my August monthly budget includes August 12th through September 8th. So here is August 12th and here is September 8th. The reason why my August budget is not August 1st to the 31st is because my monthly budgets include all of the bills that will be taken care of with that monthly income. So since my August paydays are August 12th and August 26th, all of the bills that are taken care of with these two paydays are all of the bills highlighted in yellow and green, which is from August 12th to September 8th, which is why that is my monthly pay period for August. So I hope that makes sense. Since I have bi-weekly paychecks, my last paycheck of every month is always going to take care of next month's beginning bills. And that is the same for every month. So with that being said, let's go back into my monthly budget. All right, so let's start with my actual income for August. This is what I budgeted for, and this is what I actually received. So for my part-time job, I received $17.60, which is what I budgeted for. Chan sent me $300. Child tax credit was $300, which is what I budgeted for. YouTube, I only budgeted $100 because that is the lowest that I can receive from YouTube. But I actually received $6,004 from YouTube.
Yeah, get into it.
So I put that in my actual column. Consulting, I only budgeted $220, but I actually received $305. So totaling up all of these actual incomes, that is $8,669 that I received for the month of August. So let's go on into my bills. This is what I budgeted for. This is what I actually paid towards those bills. So I budgeted $238 for tithes. I actually paid $837 for tithes. And that difference came from my YouTube income and some of that consulting income. For taxes, I only budgeted 24%. For right now, I only take out YouTube taxes. And because I only take out 24% of any of my YouTube income, it was $24 because that is 24% of $100. But since I received $6,004, my taxes was $1,441. I hate paying taxes, y'all. It sucks. But anyway, it is what it is. So Capital One is the same. So it's Netflix, Apple, my car payment, Zoom, Elite Dentistry, and my phone bill. Those were all the same. The only things that changed were tithes and taxes. So my total bills was $2,830 opposed to the $814. So if I subtract $2,830 from my total income, that gives me $5,839 remaining. So now let's go into my cash envelopes. So the black is what I budgeted for, and of course the purple is what I actually spent. And of course I received these numbers from my Paycheck Budgets, which is what I showed you in the beginning of the video. So the only thing I want to mention is that I actually budgeted $195 for groceries, not $190. So just keep that in mind. I did not have whiteout, so I didn't want to jack it all up and like put the 5 over the 0. So I just wanted to go ahead and let y'all know that it's actually $195, not $190. So for groceries, I spent $188 out of the $195. Household, $33 out of $40. I spent all of the fast food budget, all of the miscellaneous budget. I spent half of my gas budget, so $10 out of $20. For Lauren, I budgeted $60 and I spent $52. For my cash envelope, I spent all of my money. For my locks, I spent that all. And actually, my $90 is still in my locks cash envelope. And that is because my appointment is this Saturday coming up. I thought it was going to be in between this pay period, but it's not. So that money is still sitting there, but I still put it as spent because I will be spending all of that money. For blessings, I spent $8 out of the $10 I budgeted for. Starbeezy, I spent $16 out of the $20 I budgeted for, and I spent all of my tip budget. So that brings my total spent to $491. If I subtract the $491 from the $58.39, I have $53.48 remaining. Now let's go into my sinking funds. I did not put all of my sinking funds categories because that would just be too much, but the total that I put towards my sinking funds was $4,180. And again, I get this number from closing out all of my paycheck budgets and also my YouTube income budget. So I did budget $692 for sinking funds, but I actually put $4,180 towards sinking funds. So that is pretty freaking awesome. So $4,180 subtracted from the $53.48 gives me $1,168 remaining. So for my extra debt, I budgeted $60 to go towards student loans, but I actually put $135. That difference comes from the $75 that I allocated from my YouTube income. So my total extra debt is $135. If I subtract the $135 from $1,168, that gives me $1,033 remaining. So now is my extra savings. The 52-week challenge, I budgeted $134 and I put $130 towards that. My emergency fund, I budgeted $50 and I put $130. 3 to 6 month expenses, I budgeted $100, but I put $260 towards that. Lauren Bear's college fund, I budgeted $320 and I put $470 towards her college fund.
Okay.
And my $1 and $5 savings, I budgeted $0, of course, because like I mentioned, that number comes from whatever I did not spend in my cash envelopes. So in total, $18 went towards my $1 savings and $20 towards my $5 savings. So if I total up these extra savings amounts, that brings me to $1,028 for an extra savings total. If I subtract that $1,028 from the $1,033, that gives me $5 remaining. So I know y'all are like, but that's not zero though. That is not a zero-based budget. And no, it is not. But I'm not going to stress over $5.
And that's on period.
If it was like $50 or $100, then I would be like, okay, where did I not put that money, you know? But this $5 is actually $5 under budget and not over. So that's really good. But like I mentioned, I couldn't find where that $5 was supposed to go. So I just left it at that. And that's $5 and that's okay. I don't know if that $5 is sitting in my cushion. I don't know if I miscalculated somewhere. I'm not sure. But like I said, I'm not going to stress over being $5 under budget because, hey, I'm just good with it. So one thing I want to mention before I close out this monthly budget is that the $1 and $5 savings equals 20 plus 18 is what? $38. So that means that the difference from what I spent in my cash envelopes to what I budgeted for should be $38 because the $1 and $5 savings comes from what I did not spend in my cash envelopes. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Yeah. But just want to make sure y'all understand. So let's start with my total budgeted amount for my cash envelopes. It's $529 that I budgeted for. So if I subtract $491, which is what I actually spent, it should equal the $38 that went into my $1 and $5 savings. So let's subtract $491, and that gives me $38, which is what I put towards these two savings challenges. So that is how I know that I correctly did this budget, aside from the $5 that I'm missing, but that's what it is. But that's how I know that I correctly did this budget, because everything, it matches up pretty well. That is basically how I close out my monthly budgets. Remember, it always starts with closing out your paycheck budgets, because you won't know the exact amounts for your monthly budget until you close out your paycheck budget. I feel like that's the simplest way I can explain it. So So I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope it made sense to you. If it didn't, please leave any of your questions, apprehensions down below in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. But that is it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking till the end. I love y'all so much. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all in my next video. And yeah, all right. Bye.